We begin our broadcast in Kenya, where the economy appears to be taking center stage as the East African country prepares for its presidential and local elections. VOA's Paul Ndiho has more.
The war in Ukraine is driving rising global food and fuel prices. 2 years of the COVID pandemic have left millions of Africans facing food insecurity. In Kenya, the National Bureau of Statistics says the country's inflation has hit an all-time high of 7.9%, forcing thousands to demonstrate in the streets, calling for a boycott of the elections because of the cost of living. Kenya's political leaders are noticing, perhaps for the first time, that voters are very angry, and as a result they have shifted campaign politics from personality and ethnic politics to economic development and growth. Like thousands of other protesters are carrying banners, calling themselves the movement of the hungry people and the hunger revolution. A Kenyan mother and grandmother waves an empty plate, demanding that food prices come down.
Please bring the price of flour down, because without the flour, we cannot cook our ugali or make porridge and drink. But now there is no flour, there's no food, and we are hungry. I don't recognize my country anymore. Is this our country? We are not refugees. We are Kenyans. Please treat us as Kenyans.
In the impoverished neighborhoods of Mathare, Atieno cares for her 12 grandchildren here while her 2 daughters go out looking for odd jobs. According to figures by Kenya's Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, voter registration among people under the age of 35 is dropping, and voter apathy among the youth is rising.
People are dissatisfied with the current state of our politics. Many Kenyans are preoccupied with the economic situation, the cost of living, and other, in their view, far more important things taking place in their own lives from a day-to-day basis. So I don't think it's any one single factor that's driving the voter apathy. But possibly a perfect storm.
Meanwhile, presidential candidates are making promises and assertions to Kenya's poor on tackling endemic corruption, rising public debt, and providing vulnerable families with stipends or credit and loans, without explaining in detail how they are going to do it. During a press conference with international media in Nairobi, presidential candidate Raila Odinga addressed the issue of polling violence.
If people see that the process is free and fair up to the polling day, after the tallying and the announcement of the results, there really should be no fear for violence erupting.
Earlier this month, a presidential candidate William Ruto also spoke to the international media. He's confident in winning the election and says the economy is a top priority.
We have largely managed to pull away from the usual competition around ethnicities and those kind of things to a space where we're discussing issues that apply to all Kenyans. Cost of living, the economy, creating jobs.
On August 9th, 22 million Kenyans are eligible to vote. Many of them live below the poverty line, so the cost of food and fuel will play a significant role in the election as voters cast their ballots. Paul Ndiho, VOA News, Washington.